I am the very first woman to ever live in a vehicle and become famous on YouTube and hit 100,000 subscribers. So not a van, not an RV, but a truck, like a car. I'm gonna go ahead and take that title and wear that crown. In this video, I thought I would talk about some of my most disastrous moments that I've had. And there's been a lot. It's that time of year, my friends. It's hurricane season. My hurricane getaway mobile is almost complete. El Bronco, Tanky Poo, survived Hurricane Helene. You'll see that in a second. But now's the time to be prepared for natural disasters. There seems to be a lot of them around the world recently, you know, like a lot, like more than average. I got super excited because Renogy reached out and decided to sponsor this. By the way, this video is not sponsored. The one where I actually test it will be. They sent me a whole system, a battery bank, and I was so excited to finally install it because of everything I've been through when it comes to power. We're gonna be taking out my inverter, lithium battery, and DC charger, and then we're gonna be replacing it with the gorgeous Renogy system that was sent to me. This is an all-in-one system, baby. So I didn't want to have to do this, but I did find out that having a makeshift seat is illegal. I made this and it converts down into a bed so that my dogs can lay on it, and then there's also storage underneath. I'm thinking that maybe we could put the lithium batteries behind the seat and actually put a proper one back in. When most people look at battery banks, you know, they see convenience. They see solar panels and a way to maybe save on your electricity bill, or, oh, that's a great setup for yourself to be able to go camping. Not me. I don't know if any of you have ever been through a natural disaster before and had the grid go down when it's 20 degrees outside and you don't have electricity for days. I have. They haven't had an ice storm like this since 1992. I don't know if you've ever lived in a town that got hit by a hurricane and 90% of the homes were taken out, and even if you had a generator, there were no gas stations left to fill that generator up. I have. Tank made it. Look at that. A tree missed it by like an inch. Sooner or later, life has a way of testing all of us. But let's rewind a little bit. Right before I hit the road in my Bronco in 2019, Jackery reached out and said, hey, let us send you one of our power supplies. It was awesome. I felt like I had everything I would need now. That might be good. You know, I was from California. I didn't even know what I was getting myself into driving across the country in this thing. I just wanted a new place to call home. California was so expensive. I had to get out. I didn't care if I needed to suffer in order to do that. You know what I mean? I just needed to get out. But me and my dogs found ourselves in some situations where it was bitter cold. My window is ice. All my power supplies froze, so the temperature comes up if I try to plug it in to charge it. I very quickly found out that no power station was going to be able to run an appliance for very long. So I switched over to heater buddies, and it was a very unsafe way to keep us warm in the truck. However, I was blowing through those canisters. I'm blowing through these canisters, blowing through. They last, I think, about 4 hours. I went through 6 of these in a night trying to refill these, but I think this is frozen. They're not refilling. I don't know what to do. Everything's frozen. Don't even get me going about the dangers of running these heater buddies inside of vehicles. This stupid thing. I had my hair in a braid. This was on the ground and I leaned over and all of a sudden I looked down and my hair was being sizzled by one of these. I had to cut a bob for the first time in my adulthood. Here I am putting together the Renogy battery bank outside of the Bronco just so I can get a taste of how long all the wires are. I have to show you this because it will light your soul on fire if you've ever had a hard time putting something together or you are a visual learner like myself. I just started at the inverter. And look at, I just grabbed cable number 23. It was in bag number 23. Everything's labeled. But if you want to see what it is, you can go over here, number 23. And you just follow the lines all the way down. Isn't that amazing? This was the easiest thing I've ever put together. It took me about an hour. Not only did the bags have labels, but the actual cords, everything had a label at each end of it, so you know exactly which end to hook up. Unbelievable. I put the entire system together looking at that photograph. I didn't have to read one thing. Phenomenal. And while I was putting together this ridiculously simple setup and really enjoying my time doing it, I was reflecting on all the struggles that I've had with power. I almost died last night. I remembered that one time I went to Orlando and it was freezing ice cold after I left Disney World.
It is chilly, willy, willy.
I was in my F-250. The dogs and I were sleeping in a Del Taco parking lot. I told myself, okay, I'm just going to turn on the propane heater for a little while because the F-250 was a very small space and covered in fabric everywhere. I was going to turn it on for a short period of time. I accidentally fell asleep and I woke up to my driver's seat in flames. Look, I woke up to almost burning to death. I don't know how I have hair. I tell you, unstoppable moron. I grabbed one of the dog's blankets and tried to put it out. I burnt the heck out of my hands. It was absolutely horrifying. One of the scariest experiences of my life. You will never see me use a propane heater in a small space again. I'm lucky to be alive to even be telling this story.
I love you.
I love you. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. These types of scenarios really taught me that when desperate times like that happen.
I grabbed the important stuff, hard drive, passport. I'm not messing around with the fires. Those fires spread fast.
You are going to be thanking yourself for actually getting a power system set up.
I started driving and like about an hour and a half in, like the smoke just kept getting thicker. This is not okay. This is actually pretty terrifying.
In either your vehicle or in your home. I would say your vehicle, so that if you have to leave, you can actually stay warm in your vehicle or cool. For a long time, I figured that my generator was the solution to all my problems. However, then when I put it on the back of my Bronco and turned it on, my entire rig was going brrrr. So if you rely on stealth parking because you don't have an area to store a bunch of gas, because that thing would only run an AC unit for 8 hours before you have to fill it back up, say hasta luego to being able to park wherever you want, because now it's a dead giveaway that you're in there because your generator.
So far I haven't gotten any dirty looks from anyone for having the generator running. I mean, it does not sound pretty, you guys. It sounds like a little dirt bike is on right behind the Bronco.
Unfortunately, that generator only lasted so long. For whatever reason, it just was so finicky, and sometimes it would run, sometimes it wouldn't, and a heat wave hit Florida.
We're gonna die. We are dying. We're all dying. We're all gonna die.
Right when I was depending on that thing. And out of nowhere, it was 105 degrees inside that Bronco, and I felt like I was going to die from a heat stroke. That was one of the biggest panics I've ever had in my life. Stuck in the heat without a generator, with the battery supply that I just spent thousands of dollars for a man to build out for me not working, and the generator not working. At the height of my YouTube career, decided to get out of the Bronco and get into a rental house in Memphis.
I'm just so scared that this is the worst decision I've ever made.
Now maybe you guys understand the full scope of why this system meant so much to me. Watching all of those clips literally makes me come to tears as I look back at all this footage, and it was such an adventure, but the struggle was real. Just a few months after I rented that house in Memphis, disaster would strike again.
Across the city, we've got trees like this one, blocking roadways.
An ice storm that town said they hadn't seen anything like in decades.
There's a lot of fire trucks out right now. These trees are dropping. They're just dropping like flies on people's houses, cars, everything. You see that? That's my apartment right there.
This ice storm was so intense, it was freezing all of the trees, and then the branches were breaking onto people's houses. All the power went out, and there was no way for the utility company to even come out and try to restore it because the roads were blocked. So now here I am in a dark house in Memphis trying to get my generator running.
Come on, generator. This will work. There's no way they're gonna fix this quickly. The whole city's down.
The finicky generator that just never wants to work when you need it the most. I swear, that thing.
Oil in here. There's a full tank of gas. This thing hasn't worked in a long time.
I spent like a day trying to figure out the perfect amount of oil for this thing to actually turn on. I finally got it going. I set it up in the backyard and had my fireplace going. That fireplace did nothing. I don't know if they do this on purpose. You know what it looked like to me when I was there? That the utility company is in bed with the people that develop these mastermind communities where you just have thousands and thousands of houses with only like 4 designs all stacked right next to each other. And they put vaulted ceilings, very poor insulation, and these little fireplaces. So, oh yeah, you can heat the house with a fireplace. No, you can't, okay? The only place you would feel heat in that house from that fireplace is if you were sitting right in front of it. And then while I was sitting at that fireplace on about day 3 of the power being out, the grocery stores being completely empty, wiped out from everything that you would need.
You already had a cart.
I know. You got mom that has a bunch of friends that need them.
I already watched that girl go out of Walmart with a full cart of firewood. And now she has another full cart of firewood. She just bought out that whole shop.
And while me and my dogs were trying to stay warm by this very inefficient fireplace, I suddenly had a thought dawn on me.
You know, I was thinking about it. That generator's so loud outside. Those people sitting in the dark over there without a generator, I know they can hear mine. They're sitting in a very silent house right now, so.
Thousands of homes sat in complete darkness. Everyone was freezing cold. Everyone was starting to feel pretty desperate. And in the middle of all that silence, there was my generator running. Loudly announcing to everyone within an earshot that somebody still had power.
If it really hit the fan for like weeks at a time, and you had that running, that's how you get killed. You know, people, they're not typically bad, but desperate people do desperate things. Would someone try to steal the generator? Would they decide that they wanted to see what else I had inside of that house? I don't know. All I know is that I didn't feel safe. I ended up packing up my dogs and heading to Florida until the power company was able to get everything restored.
I did it. I finished the install. My voice is a little gone right now. There was a disaster. My dog and the neighbor's dog got in a fight. Don't worry, everybody's fine. I'm going to talk about it during my live stream. I'm going live on the 4th of July. I do this thing where I go live every holiday, so you don't have to be alone for the holidays. And I'm not going to miss this just because my voice is gone. We've installed the unit. It was quite honestly very easy, but it was a little challenging to get it into this space. It looks like I built out a time machine. I didn't know it came with this. I found this box later. It was one box that I missed. I thought I had to have access to these switches at all times, but no, this little guy right here allows you to turn the inverter off, and it has a very long cord. So I will be able to cover all of this up. I still will want to have access to the battery switch so that if I want to install something else, I can turn off the power and not electrocute myself. But I'm pretty excited. It was a little challenging to get everything to like fit here in this dashboard area. If you're gonna do it, I would probably recommend like towards the back of your rig, you know, where it could just all be like kind of on one flush spot. But hey, we made it work, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep it exposed for now just while I add like the rooftop AC unit and my other components and give it a, you know, a tester and see if I did this properly. I'm pretty sure I did. It just gives me a bunch of peace of mind knowing that next time that there's a mandatory evacuation, I can just hop in this Bronco and go. So whether I get to travel again in this or not, at least I now have like a little safe rig setups for me and my Papalones. I'll be honest, you guys, every time I go to hop in this thing, something catastrophic happens and prevents us from leaving. I was just about to leave on the 15th of July and do a caravan with somebody else. And then last night, no, 2 nights ago, my dog got into a fight with the neighbor dog, and right on the property line again, there's like a territory issue. There needs to be some, I need to like fence off an area. I need to fence this place in. It was really bad. Luckily, everybody made it out alive, but they fought for about 20 minutes, hence my voice being gone, like screaming just at the top of my lungs, trying to save them. And now his paw is hurt. He had an x-ray. Luckily it's not broken. There's his bump, but he's fine. But he needs some time to heal. You're the most chill dog. He just chills. He let her stick a temperature up his butt and he didn't even care. And it's like, gosh, the first time I tried to hop in this last year, I pulled it out of the pool barn. I was renting a place, not living on my land yet. I pulled it out of the pool barn to pack it up. I had just finished building out my whole power supply, the one that ended up failing. And then the brake line snapped. Bronco's getting pulled out. Through the brakes. What the f***? I have no brakes. Oh, come on. And as I'm replacing the brakes, the bearing seal I noticed is leaking. So I replaced the bearings and the seal. It took me a while. And it took me so long that it led me into the winter time, and I decided to postpone my trip. And then finally I had to go because there was some business I needed to take care of across the country, as I mentioned to you guys. And then right as I was ready to go, I found that dog abandoned on the side of the road, and I could not help him, and I wasn't able to find a place to rehome him, so I ended up becoming his home. Then all of a sudden we were ready to go, and my whole battery system failed. I did get a diagnosis on my lithium. It's still back there. It's so stuck back there, I didn't even take the time to take it out before I installed this unit. I found out that I busted the internal BMS by overloading it by trying to run my rooftop AC unit, and I guess I did it too many times, so I damaged the battery. I'm not sure if that's fixable. I'm hoping it is. Now we know what happened there, and now I know why my battery system failed with the thousands of dollars I spent for that guy in South Carolina to build me out something. Right after I left his shop, nothing worked. I was able to plug in a box fan for, I don't know, maybe like 20 or 30 minutes, and all of a sudden it died. And then the generator wasn't working either. I had purchased a brand new generator, and then he said, from Harbor Freight, and he said, no, take this Honda, I'll trade you. It's better. And I took his, and it was just a really finicky generator, but it wasn't working either. So I was just really upset with him, because I felt like I spent a lot of money on a battery system that wasn't working. But now I know why it wasn't working, because now I understand the lingo. And I went and looked at those batteries the other day. I'd never looked at them before and just read the amp hours because I didn't know what that even meant. Now I do. He put two 50 amp hour batteries in the Bronco and expected an AC unit to run off of it. You know what? These, probably the BMS went out on them as well, and that's why that whole system failed so quickly. But they say 50 amp hours on them. What the heck, dude? And I made the mistake too. I put the 100 amp hour battery and thought that my AC unit would work. So I don't blame him for it. It's just the lack of knowledge. But now I know that, yeah, you need a lot of amp hours. So thank you, Renogy, for sending me 600. This is such a blessing. I look forward to doing the video where we finally put this to the test. So that will be coming soon. And right now I'm just focusing on getting my land safe for my dogs and getting my other dog healed up. But I'll talk about that more during the live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to turn your notifications on. And also, if you want to buy a system, I'm going to link it in the description. And they gave me a $300 off coupon code. So now's your time to save a little money and have a backup for next time a natural disaster hits you. Or if you just want to travel and have a good time with your life. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Once before. Hey. Welcome back, having a driver's seat. It's windy.
She does not like the thunder. It scares her.
And so it scares Buddy Boy, too. Oh.
Got a fire extinguisher. Damn it. There goes that AC unit. This is a brick of ice. These wipes were down there. It's just a brick of ice.
In all the towns, even at Walmart's, like toe warmers, and these are sold out. Cream cheese, frozen. I gotta put some two-stroke oil inside the generator. Everything's hanging above the heater to keep it warm.